like, shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, shut up.
Yeah. Get it, dude.
End interview.
I am Ian. This is our amazing producer, Sharon Reynolds, and we are here today with the super funky Kelsey Gonzalez. You know him as the bassist for Anderson Paak and Free Nationals, but he is also a multi-instrumentalist, killer producer. We're going to watch some of Kelsey's coolest YouTube videos together, and we're going to get into all of it. Basses, effects, grooves, straight funk versus Dilla, what it's like playing with Anderson, who is quite possibly the most charismatic drummer frontman of all time. So Kelsey, thank you so much for being here, man.
Oh, man, thank you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. I first became aware of you with Free Nationals with that insane TinyDesk that you did with Anderson. 2016, maybe, playing tunes off of Malibu. I remember where I was when I saw it. A friend of mine, we were out on the road. He was like, stop what you're doing. We have to watch this together. And we like gathered around his phone and were blown away. So we gotta check this out. Just right out. It grooves so hard.
Hey, well, that's exactly what the nigga came for. You taking shots from afar, I'ma meet you at your front door. So hard to be doing what you really meant for, beauty. But don't I make it look easy? Don't I make it look good? Hey, you drink up all my liquor, come on.
Dude, what's that hanging off the headstock of the bass?
Someone gave me that. It was like a little keychain.
If I get too high now, sugar, come on.
I love
I
it.
might never come down. I might never come. You
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Not ever come down. Nah, I wanna get down. Help me out now.
Is this the tune that you were talking about with the thing that you had to play that feels tough to just keep going through the whole tune? Is this the tune?
Yeah. I have like two basses when I play. It's like I have one that's regular, like EADG, and then I have another that's BEAD. Bead.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
so the PJ that you're playing, like that Fender PJ that you're playing there, is that tuned a different way?
It's BEAD. So that's why I was playing it like up here. And then now I play it like down on the first fret. If I don't like practice before, that one hurts my hand. So I like practice for at least an hour before. That fool Flea taught me that shit. He was like, the first time I met him, he's like backstage just walking around with his bass, just going, he did this. This was his move. I was like, what the fuck? He was like, I mean, I'm sorry. I was like, what the F? He was like,
No,
he's
swear
like
away.
talking to you and he's like, not using the first finger. He's just like, huh? So anyways, I was voting. And I was like,
Just playing like pinky third second, like that kind of thing, and walking down.
yeah, just talking to you.
Hanging. He's just like, that's like a side thing that he's doing. Just
Yeah, just walking around with his bass doing that. And I'm like, what the hell? Nice to meet you.
Oh man, did you get to hang with Flea a lot?
Yeah. It's a good friend. Like I go surf with him and stuff. He's like one of the coolest cats I ever met in my life. I'm like,
Man,
I feel like the coolest guy in the world being able to hang with that dude.
when
He's so
when
cool.
you're hanging with Flea, what do you talk about?
It's like, it's mostly surfing, and if I text him about music or anything, like never bass stuff ever. But if we talk about like other people's music or surfing or basketball, Lakers mostly, yeah, like he's all about it. But it's never like, hey dude, like what kind of strings do you use?
You just leave those questions to me.
Yeah,
I'll ask you
exactly.
those questions. Oh man, wild. Well, I want to ask you about the Flea warm up. I mean, did he actually show that to you, or were you just sort of watching him, and were you kind of gleaning that off of him?
He just like did it as I met him and did it like before he was playing,
Yeah.
and walked around with just the bass backstage, like talking to us as he's playing. And he's like,
Yeah.
I found that like, the older I get, the more I gotta like, oil the engine, whatever, like get ready.
Yeah.
He's like, because otherwise I go out there and I'm not like,
It doesn't feel like fluid or yeah.
And so I realized that on a tour that we did with them like 2 summers ago or something, last summer, I was like, I had to play that song Come Down, and I'm like up here on like the first fret, and I'm like having to you know, and
Yeah.
it started hurting.
I mean, at the risk of having you hurt yourself, could you show us that bass line right now? Could you show it to us? Would you mind?
Well, so on the BEAD, I was like up here, so it was easy, you know.
Yeah.
But on
Yes.
this one, it's just like.
Oh, a little Jaco at the end. Dude, did you write that line? Did it come to you? Did someone else write it? Like how did that line come about?
That was High Tech sent a beat to Anderson that was like samples. And so I did the guitar on that song. I didn't do the bass.
Oh,
Gotcha.
cool.
But
Nice.
Cool.
it was like slightly out of tune. So I had to like tune the guitar down to like
To match it.
To match it. But yeah, I did like the guitar. But otherwise it's just like samples.
When you're playing that live, like I wanted to ask you about ostinato, you know, like you seem like you have a real adherence to the like hip hop tradition of play the thing, don't deviate from the thing. Is that right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. What'd you call it?
Just like it's just like a fancy word for a repeating phrase, you know, like that to me is an ostinato bass line. It's just a thing that happens over and over.
It's like a bass motive, kind of.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
just repeats.
Yeah, I guess yeah. I guess I'm a fan of that. Yeah, it's like people aren't like listening to music to hear the bass player rip. I mean, if you do, you know, just do it like
Probably bassist.
sneaky, you know.
Oh. I mean, or unless people like the Chili Peppers, right? Or like there's certain bassists, you know,
Yeah.
they're like certain bass players or where the music is based around that thing, like a pyrotechnic bass player, like Flea, I don't know, Les Claypool, some of the like classic heroes, you know. But there's like a hip hop tradition, or seemingly like coming from samples, where that bass line repeats, and then you have to ask yourself, like, am I going to do that? Or am I going to take it places? Do you ever feel like locked in by that? Or do you love the repetition?
I don't know. I never even thought of that. I guess I'm like a reggae guy. So I came from reggae. So family man, you know. Like,
Yes, absolutely.
To me, he's my favorite, hands down. And it's like, you know, hearing his bass lines, he's just in there with, you know, Carly Barrett, just like locked. They're brothers, you know, like they're just locked in and do 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 do. Like that bass line is the singer, you know,
Yeah.
or stir it up. I was just telling Matt, like doom 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 doom. Bob has to stir it up. Like that's all he has to do, you know. He's like the second singer.
When did you start playing bass, Kelsey?
12, 8th grade, something like that.
Straight into bass, or did you start something else?
I learned like guitar a little bit, like some Nirvana. My brother taught me, and then like punk stuff, like the Germs and stuff. And then
Yeah.
you know, my brother, he was older. I think like at that age he was like, you know, it's like too cool to play with your little brother. So one summer we saved up money and like we got some drums, some shitty drums, but like
Yeah.
and then I got into drums and I was like, this is tight. So I was able to like jam with them maybe 3 times in that in that year or 2 years or whatever. And then my pops got like some money from some, like, you know, my pops is a playwright, so he's, you know, badass. And
Yeah.
he got some money from a play and was like, let's go to Guitar Center, and bought us a bass, a little Squire with a little amp, you know, like probably $150 for both. And yeah, I just started playing like Bob Marley, Sublime, Nirvana, like, yeah, that was it.
It's so cool. I mean, and I think when I hear you play, I don't hear somebody that's concerned about what they're going to do after 4 bars, what they're going to do after 8 bars, the cool idea that's burning that you have to get out and impress people with. I hear somebody who likes the song.
Thank you. And for me, it's like the drummer is what I'm listening to the most. It's always like the kick pattern and the hats and just what everything's doing there. It's like that's what means the most to me. I'm pretty much listening to the kick. I just like playing with good drummers.
Yes.
And that's what just makes you a good bass player.
It's
If you
so
just pick
true.
a good drummer, you always sound good. Because if you play it with a drummer that's like, you know, like off time or just like not consistent, like if the kick pattern isn't there and there's not like a, you know, for sure kick pattern, then how are you gonna write a bass line or even play one?
Right. Yes. Like whenever anyone asks me about like, you know, amp live or about gear, it's like, it's almost the wrong thing. It's like just endeavor to play with better drummers in better rooms, you know, like that's when you sound great in a great room with a great drummer. And then it's like, does the amp matter so much? Not really. You know what I mean? Like whatever.
I'll play, man. I mean, just to that point, just like that fool Justin Brown. We were on, you know, I've known Justin Brown for a long time. He's one of my favorite drummers. He's brilliant. And this man, we did like a jam session after like on tour, like with Thundercat, like after like a gig, we did like a Free Nats jam, and Justin Brown got on the tubs, but there was no sticks. So we went back in the kitchen and found a whisk and a, what do you call it? The wooden
Like a wooden spoon, a ladle, maybe?
He sounded incredible. It was like, gives a shit. Just rip it, man. It sounded so cool. Like the whisk on the hi-hat and the wooden, it was incredible.
Oh, man.
Like,
LP paying attention to that to make the drum whisk. Now it's in Guitar Center, you know? Oh, I mean, speaking of great drummers, you play with Anderson, and there's a freedom that he has. I mean, and just like an incredible levity, you know, like he's like funny and light, and it's underpinned by this like incredible groove. Got to go back to this TinyDesk again, because I feel like he's doing a Dilla thing on this, and it just feels so natural.
Your heart don't stand a chance. It feels like it's been far too long. Your knees can't hold your legs. Your feet just want to pace. Your eyes keep me all in the trance. And let me ask you, but you leave it all in the back of your head.
You guys are playing so light as well. You know?
hey, they told us to.
Hold up.
Like
We're
it's
like,
really
Ain't
chill.
nobody holding you back. Don't it feel
Playing on that tune that we just watched, like, are you thinking consciously about laying back, pushing forward, or is it just, are you just reacting in the moment?
My good friend Seven, I used to play with all the time, drummer, he was like the one that was like, hey, you know, fall back. Just those 2 words, I was like, all right, move and think just a little bit behind the beat. It's like you never want to rush, you know, like as a bass player, it's like the worst thing you can do.
Sure, you don't want to be on top of it.
And that's, I think it goes back to the reggae thing. It's like Family Man. I just remember my first Bob Marley album was Babylon by Bus.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the live one. And if you listen to that, he is so far behind the beat that it's like just far as you can go, you know? And I was like,
before it's a different subdivision or something. Yeah.
I was like, this is dope. And then I don't know. It just,
But I feel like you have to have a drummer that understands and is in agreement with you, right? Because I don't know if you've ever had the thing of like laying back with certain drummers where they slow down, or they start to like lay back with you, and now sort of like everyone is just going slower. Does that ever happen to you?
a million times.
Yes.
That's why I'm like, being a good bass player is half of it is playing with a good drummer.
Yes.
Getting a drummer. I was like, not good enough.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, wishing you health and good drummers. You know, like that's the best, right?
Oh my god, I'm gonna put that on the next Christmas card.
Yes, absolutely. That's what you have to. I mean, God, that's all I want.
Yeah.
Right. Because if the drummer doesn't get it, right, or if the drummer thinks that you're communicating, you're going too fast, and you're pulling back, and then they pull back, and then you pull back because you're trying to play behind it, and now suddenly we're just like 10 BPM slower. Man, that's a drag.
Yeah, man.
Literally. No pun intended.
Oh, I should have intended that one.
So
Sadly,
funny,
I
man.
didn't. That sucks.
Hey, Kelsey, for anyone out there who's trying to start to get into playing like that, what should they do? Is it something specific they should listen to? Is there...
Well, Bob Marley
know.
for sure. But
Hell yeah.
I would say like the easiest way I would put it would be like just play one note. You don't even have to have your left hand on the thing or whatever hand. Play one note and just move your body. Like the body is everything. Like if you're not like moving something or you're tapping your foot, you're not, you're not feeling it,
So you have to, you have to feel the pulse internally.
I just remember going to this jam session in Long Beach that was like, some of my greatest friends, but also at the time, like I just looked up to them so much. This guy, Jairus Mosey, J-Mo, his guitar player, I think, in my opinion, is, greatest I've ever seen besides Prince. It was him, and it was my friend Neon Phoenix on bass, and then my friend Luke Aono on guitar, and this I forget who was on drums. I think it was Big Dave. But anyways, I was just sitting there at the table just watching them. There was maybe 12 people there, and they were cooking. They were going in. It was insane. But it was just jam session just to like play. But I started noticing like how they all like move their heads to the beat, and it was like the guitar J-Mo, he was doing like down on the one. It was like total like it was kind of like hip hop style, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Phoenix was going back, and
Like his head was like moving back on the downbeats on like 1.
yeah, it was
2.
like 1, 2. It was like, and so it was got, and then the other homie was kind of doing one of these. And I was like,
Yeah.
I started moving my head like them, and I was like, it changes everything. How it feels. You play different. You hear the music different. Like, and so now like I kind of do the back one because it's like, it just feels cool. But like I do them all. But like, oh man, it changed everything. So like I guess my to answer your question would be like play one note, 2 notes, whatever, and just like move something. Pino has his own way. He's like does the neck,
Yeah.
Rocco kind of does the same thing, and like just you kind of notice like what kind of musicians, how they move their body when they play, and it's like I don't know, to me that's like more important. Your right hand is, or your whatever, this hand, it's like really important, like to just pay attention to that more than any of this stuff, because who cares?
Right.
Tone.
Would you be willing to like show us that? Would you be willing to play one note and just like make one note groove in a way that you feel?
Yeah. Or a thumb. I love the thumb too. It's like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, man. Right. Where like you're not concerned about doing something with fretting hand.
Yeah, it's like, think of it like a kick drum. You're the kick.
Yes. And man, do you feel like so many bass players, I mean, get it wrong and get too kind of nerdy or too notey when maybe they should be focusing more on just that like foundational rhythm aspect?
Well, like the nerdy stuff is cool too. Like there's room for all of it. Like I love the nerdy stuff too. I mean, to me, I call people nerds like as the highest form of praise, because I wish I was a nerd. Like I'm like, all right, nerd alert. Like when someone says or does something really fucking smart, but like, I studied the nerd stuff too. I learned Teen Town. Like I know that, but like,
right.
Still, it's like I just play the way I want to play, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's cool. It's like you have nothing to prove. I feel like sometimes when people want to put in the licks, right, or they're sort of lick focused. It's about projecting like, hey, I'm good at this, and there's a real calm, cool confidence that you have of like the chops are under the hood, but it's like you're driving a fast car slow, and there's nothing cooler than that, because you're not trying to prove it. You're not trying to race.
Or maybe the drummer is driving and I'm the navigator. Or something.
Yeah, dude.
Or we,
Yeah,
I feel you though. Yeah, man.
Open. Okay, so I love YouTube. You probably love YouTube. But let's be honest. It's not the best platform for in-depth teaching. Enter the SBL Academy. At SBL, we break down the bass with a curriculum-driven approach that spans from complete beginner level to super advanced. We also cover all kinds of genres, skills, and techniques, all brought to you by world-class bass instructors. And best of all, you can get started today for free at trysbl.com. We got to watch Layin It Paak. Because, dude, you know what I'm talking about? Layin It Paak, dude. It's so fun. It's so fun. And we got to check it out. And then I need to ask you something about that. Oh, it's so good. The freeze frame. Where did you get the coat? I want to know where you got that coat.
I don't know. They kind of just gave us a...
Oh, really?
They just gave us like a...
And they bleeped out your name.
You can take any little groove and make it real saucy,
So
yeah. Caution the sauce.
Right now we playing it real straight, real straight funk. But we gonna lay it back right here. And then you just gonna flam it, you know what I'm saying? This is a little flam,
Always use hands.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh.
Oh my God.
Dude, so I mean, right away, it's funny because like you talk about, it makes so much sense because you were talking about playing right with the kick, right? And when he's playing straight funk, you are like short notes with the kick, boom, boom, like you're punching with the kick. But immediately when he goes to like Layin It Paak, right? Or when he's like flamming it, right? You start to play long notes.
Yeah.
Like now you're not playing tight anymore. Why?
I don't know.
Felt like it.
Yeah.
Felt like
Just
the thing
that
to
kind
do.
of a day.
We played that song for so many years, and it was like 2010 or something. So
Yeah.
it's like I know everything he's about to do. He knows everything I'm about to. We're sick of like he's like, like he knows exactly what I'm gonna do all the time. But
Yes.
I same here. So like what's cool too with him is like, it's my boy. It's one of my greatest friends. And when say like we're about to go on a tour or something, we'll rehearse the set once. We'll maybe spend like, I don't know, 20 minutes, but we don't really need to rehearse because it's like
Crazy.
we'll do it once
Because of
be
just
like,
all the time
right.
you've spent.
Yeah, we'll do a song once and be like, all right, got it, cool. And the ones that we've played for many years, it's like, dude, we played this so many times for so many years. What
Right.
like what are we just gonna sit here and
Ingrained.
just
Yeah.
like waste time? Like, you didn't stop on the like, shut up.
Sure. Yeah, because I'm sure then it just evolves live too. Like depending
Yeah.
on the room, depending on the crowd.
Exactly.
Right. And then if you lock in some kind of like rigid arrangement, it might feel kind of strange then, like to change it live.
We'll do little things live where we'll like develop a little hit or something and look at each other once and be like, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
we don't ever have to talk about it. It's like simpatico. It's really cool. Like it's a rare relationship to have with someone.
It's
awesome.
It's so obvious too. It's so obvious that you guys have fun. It's like when I watch you play with Anderson, it's like I can tell that you've been playing a long time, and I can tell that it's fun. Like he's so smiley, you know, like he can't hide how much fun he's having. And I love that. You know, and that combo to me of like ferocious playing, like the deepest pocket playing, but then with like lightheartedness, like whatever, we're just sort of like fucking around.
Yeah.
Is really like scary potent. But I wanted to ask you, like, before that, before you had that sort of camaraderie, for anybody coming up who sees that and wants that, but doesn't have it and doesn't know how to get it, was there a time for you that like where you got your ass kicked or where you felt vulnerable, like either a producer or an artist, or that kind of like was a line in the sand that made you get it together? Or like, do you remember something that felt bad before it felt so damn good?
Oh yeah, big time, man. Like I when I first like came up, I was like middle school, high school, like just playing in a band with my older brother and his friends and stuff, and playing like, you know, backyard parties in like Bellflower, Downey, Norwalk, Lakewood, wherever, like Long Beach. And it was just ghetto fun, and we were just having fun. But then I started playing with like more, you know, like soul type of cats, like playing different type of chords and different type of bass lines and stuff. And then I started working at Long Beach City College, and I was working at the tutoring center, and I just sat behind the desk, and like, you know, my homie Luke, I had done like some jam session with him in Long Beach, and he just came by because I think he liked a girl that like was in the jazz band there. So he'd like come through every once in a while, and he'd just come and kick it with me. And he's like, dude, you should come play at church with us. I was like, all right, shit, I'll try. Like, I'm down. Like, I don't really know like any of the songs, or I didn't grow up going to church, but I'm down. So like, yeah, having to go to like these churches, like with him or whoever, I just started playing with gospel cats, and it was like,
yeah.
Oh, there's a song called Bless the Lord by Tribbett. They called it out right then and there, and I'd never heard it before. And I mean, I could look it up right now if you want, but it's like, dude, I remember that song like no other because it's insane. Like the bass line, Thaddeus Tribbett, one of my favorites ever. It's just like...
Yeah, let's pull that up, Sharon.
Dude, yeah, please. Imagine going to church and your first song is this.
This was the first gospel tune, or the first tune you ever played in church.
Yeah.
We're gonna bless the Lord.
It's insane. It gets
We're gonna
worse.
take it back. We're gonna bless the Lord.
Thaddeus Tribbett.
We're gonna take it back. We're gonna bless the Lord. We're gonna take it back. Hey, here we go now.
Oh, right.
Everybody just clap your hands like this.
Oh, this is like a nightmare.
Right?
I don't know it. Dude, a freaking nightmare. Oh,
Here we
my
go
God.
now. And
Kelsey, I had a similar experience, man, when I first started to play worship music. Like I did my first, church gig, and they called a tune that everybody knew. It wasn't that one, but it was something kind of gnarly. And I just stood there, and I'd never used in-ears before. I was on in-ears, and it was like so bad. Oh my God, dude, you're talking about this and then hearing this just gave me like PTSD.
Yeah.
That's intense. Like, how long were you playing in that environment?
It was like at least like 5-6 years that I was like really...
Way in.
I learned a lot. I got to like meet, play with some heavy cats too. Like Craig Brockman. Oh my God. Like that dude, he had one of those stares that like when you do something wrong type of thing. And he's a legend,
Oh god, yeah.
and he,
Those icy eyes.
yeah. And you're like, oh man, it makes you just want to get better. Cause he's just so prolific, and so he's done so much and so good. And he's a cool cat. It's just like, I was like, you didn't want to get that stare, And so,
Yeah.
I didn't really grow up like, all super religious or anything, but like I remember like I've seen God, like, the first 2 times I saw God The first one was getting my first barrel, like surfing, and then I was like ninth grade or something. I was like, oh, I get it now, and then the next time was playing at church, and I was like playing, and we were just in there, just cooking, like, oh my man, we were really. There was people like crying in the, and
Yeah.
I remember just looking down at my hands and playing, and I was like, I'm not playing this. I was like,
Oh, right.
something's
An
going on
out-of-body.
here.
That's so cool. Oh my man, that's very cool. I think it's good for everybody, like, to have a little bit of church experience. It grows you up quick.
Yeah.
The music thing. It really does.
Because man, I mean, there's a lot
hey.
of, a lot of the greatest music comes from the church, So
Absolutely. And has for a long time, either Mozart or Bach or Beethoven or all three, or commissioned by the church. I mean, like, without the church, that music, like all that classical music, wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
It's just been that way, forever. I feel like where I am, I live in Minneapolis, and the church, all the churches here absolutely fund the independent music scene, because there are a lot of players that play there, and then they go out and do their own thing. And it would be harder to do, without that support actually from the church. That's very cool. I want to talk to you, Kelsey, about playing effects, because I hadn't heard you play many pedals, but then there was this video, this Black Renaissance video, where you have an octave pedal going, and it's so sick. And it's that bass, I think, and you're playing, I think it's octave pedal. We'll find out.
what's Black Renaissance?
You should have been downtown.
Oh yeah.
The people are rising. They said it was a what?
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it is.
Oh my.
I've never seen this.
But you out of time now. Just gotta watch us from the clock
Listen to that.
out. Little tear gas cut the whole place out. I'll be back with the hazmat.
For the next round.
We was trying to protest and the fires broke out. Look up for the secret agents. You said a civil unrest, but you sleep so sound like you don't hear the
When we
screams.
set your beat down.
Stand quiet when they're killing brothers, but you speak loud.
Okay, Sharon, hold on. Stop it for 1 second. Like, the groove of the kick drum, it's just kick drum, you, and vocal, and it grooves so hard. Like, it's grooving impossibly hard. I feel like it's because you're so locked into the kick, and Anderson's vocal is grooving so hard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones to play. Am I playing a pedal on that? I think normally I do that song with the BEAD one,
Oh,
but
got
I
it.
think that day I just didn't bring it or something. I don't know.
For people that don't know, will you describe what that is? Like, you've got two basses and two tunings. Like, will you talk about that and why you do it?
I think when I'm like one of my first gigs, like I was playing with this guy Miguel, this R&B singer, and I was with him for like 3 years or something. It was really fun. I don't know why, but I bought a 6-string like Ibanez,
Yeah.
and I was just playing that. But it was just I was playing R&B stuff, so it was like I don't know why I had it. I remember talking to my friend Jamo. He said something about like a 4-string bass. He's like, "That's a real bass right there." Like, that's the OG, And I was like, "Huh." So then I bought this like 1991 Japanese P bass. I was like, I still want those low notes, but I want the 4-string because Jamo said it. But he's right.
Yeah, 'cause,
I mean,
like, one
just
of your
something-
friends,
Yeah.
like somebody you respected was like, a 4-string is it.
Yeah, and also the neck. It's just like the neck is the best. It's just so like thin. It just feels like a bass.
Especially compared to a 6.
Yeah, it was so stupid. What was I thinking? But anyways, so for after a while, like for so many years, I started doing just the 4-string BEAD, only that, because I was like, man, I don't need to be ripping. Like if I'm gonna rip, I'll go up here, But I wanted those low notes,
BEAD, like the lowest, strings of a 5-string or 6-string,
Yeah.
right? And then are you just standard, like on that jazz bass, are you EADG straight up?
Yeah, this one's just regular.
Yeah.
When I tour with Anderson, I just have like another one in the BEAD there just for certain songs. Like that song Lockdown, I usually do the BEAD bass.
It's pretty dope with an octave pedal, man.
Yeah, and I like the octave pedal for certain songs. Like there's this song called Tints where I play with the octave pedal.
I love that song.
Song's sick.
It's so sick.
It's really fun.
What octave pedal do you like to play?
Blue MXR one.
Yep.
I mean, I don't like. I need to get like a OC2. I always like wanted one of those, but like I got the OC3 and it's just not the same, you know.
But I mean, your octave pedal thing sounds great.
I don't know why. Yeah, that Blue MXR one for some reason just always.
Do you play any other effects besides octave pedal?
I just pretty much use 2 pedals. It's called a Snow White. I forget who makes it. A Mad Professor or something. The company. It's like a white pedal with like red writing. It's really cool. It's just it's called an Ottawa. So
right.
It's cool.
It's like more simple. Do you use that for sort of like sounding, getting your electric bass to sound like a synth? Is that kind of the
like that kind of thing? And then sometimes like on certain songs I'll use both, but usually it's just a tuner and those 2 pedals.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Keeping it simple. We we were wondering about a sound. There's on Lovejoy, like throwing it back all the way to Lovejoy.
You know Shafiq Husayn, the guy Shafiq Husayn?
No.
He's the reason we all like got together. Anderson used to live in his house, like in the bottom room, and he let him live there and said, just like, yeah, just make sure you can live here for free. Just make sure you like come through with the homies and play on all my albums. so we were just like, all right, cool. We'd all come through all the time. But it was a sick house, like in or what was it? Mount Washington. And it was like Flying Lotus, Erykah Badu, Herbie Hancock, all these fools would just show up, Thundercat, like just be at the house hanging. We're like what the like,
crazy.
Yeah, so like a lot of the early stuff was made there and through Shafiq's, influence and all this stuff. And Shafiq is like on his first album it's mostly like Thundercat, and then the second album is like me and Thundercat mostly, and then the mixtape I sent you is just me and Thundercat. But it's like when I first started playing gigs with him, I'd have to like learn all these Thundercat bass lines, which are insane, like insane bass lines. Like when you hear this Shafiq stuff, if you hear like the song No More, you're like, what? And so I have to learn these, and I'm like, I gotta play these in front of him. Because he's gonna pull up to the show sometimes, and like I gotta play these songs in front of him, and that's when it clicked to me. I was like, I don't want to sound like Thundercat. I just want to I want to play in a way that like would impress him instead of sounding like him, And I want to play the song right and make it feel right. I don't need to sound like
your approach.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just like I'm gonna do it my way, but I want him to be like, yeah, cool. Because like you can try to sound like Thundercat all you want. Like, good try, buddy. It's never gonna happen.
Oh, I know. Right. Yeah, Jerry doesn't like it either. If someone's just trying to sound like Thundercat. I heard that. Jerry just growled right there, dude. Jerry's like, do not ape Thundercat. Like, don't do it. Do you have a process? Like when you're learning tunes, are you writing stuff down? Are you memorizing? Like when you have to learn something hard, what's it look like for you?
I've never had to like practice like reading music, so I just kind of do ear.
Your ear is insane. I mean, when you sat there and sang Stir It Up, like you're hearing it. It's in here. You're able to get it out here, And so it seems like you would just be able to almost transcribe anything because you're hearing this stuff as melody and you can sing it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important things I think like that I always try to do when I'm like making a bass line or something is like be able to sing it first before you even If it doesn't sound good when you sing it, then it's gonna be a lame bass line. Like, shut up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, shut up.
Yeah. Get it, dude.
End interview.
Yo. Hey, come on, my man. Come on.
Oh, that's me on guitar too.
Oh, cool.
What you mean? You don't know what you worth. You don't know that you got it. I mean, man, they tweaking out here, but it's all good, man. We gon' bring them back to the essence. We gon' take them back to where it all began. You feel me? Understand who you is, what you are. You know what I'm saying? This is Mother Nature, Free National, great thinkers. Talk to them, sis.
Push a man, I pull up in a Cadillac. Diamond in the bag. Pressure giving session, foot stay on the gas. Fresher than a blessing. fuck, feel lesser. Thrive off the pressure. She smile at the Tesla. I'm testing your steez and my 4-finger ring. Kiss the pinky of a queen. Create gold from a dream. Let it marinate. I don't serenade. But if I do, I'll probably give you bellyache. Cause your favorite Lucky Charm on a dinner date. Take the piggy from the farm. Gotta sell a steak. Wait, they don't know why. I see through my God. Fall in my favor. This foresight unlocked. Calling those voices with
That is so cool.
Practice my theory.
I've always doing that.
That's so cool. Do you remember that bass line? Yeah.
So like, if I can do a harmonic, I'm always gonna do it. Like, I'm obsessed with that shit. Like if there's a bass line that's cool, like, and I want to do this, and I'll just like do the bass line, and then I'll do another take, and I'll just tune it down so I can do harmonics.
Oh, no way. And will you do like harmonics as an overdub or something? Like
Yeah.
it's just another part of
Like
the beat?
every time.
Come on, dude. That's the Kelsey secret. That's the Kelsey Gonzalez secret.
I also like I love overdubbing so much. Like I had this fretless bass that my cousin let me borrow for a little bit. Like there's this one called Waves that I did. It's like I'm always on the that shit, and then do like kind of overdub, but also I'll do like lines where it's like you do one line and then you do like a harmony on top.
Ooh,
and then it just sounds like a
yes.
chord, and I do that with guitar too. It just sounds like makes it sound like a chord.
It kind of reminds me of like a cross between the reggae love, like the Family Man thing, but also like Jaco. There's like a little bit of bass nerd in it, dude.
Yeah, I'm so
You know what I
big.
mean?
Exactly.
And you said
It's
Teen
the highest
Town earlier,
honor,
so
That's the highest honor ever, man.
yeah, man. Were you did you learn like Portrait of Tracy? Was there any Jaco mountains that you climbed early on?
Yeah,
Like
Portrait
that?
of Tracy and Teen Town classics. I mean, you have to learn those, And then one time, my friend Phoenix, I remember at a jam session, I was talking to my friend J-Mo, like at the bar or something, and we're talking and like just not even looking at the stage. And then this fool, at the end of some crazy thing, he just goes, and we both just like went, what is that? What the hell? That's insane.
Oh, it's so cool. I love that you do harmonics overdubs. That's amazing.
Everyone should do it.
Yeah,
At least once in their
everybody's
life.
gonna start now. Everybody's gonna start. Let me ask you one thing about production. So, as a musical director, because you've said that you're a musical director in some of these projects you work for, or if you're producing. Let's say you're not the bass player in something, right? Like, say you're thinking about it from producer hat, MD hat. What do you want in a bass player? What are you looking for from a bass player?
I remember one of the best pieces of advice that I ever got, like from one of like my heroes. It was like this dude Valdez Brantley. It was like my second tour ever with that fool Miguel, and it was like with Usher, and we were doing like it was sick. It was like arenas and stuff, and just getting to watch him, the homie Natural, Buddy Strong, Aaron Spears. There's the four of them. That was the band, and like Valdez just played key bass. Like he was just, his brother like Kern. He's like sick bass. They're both great bass players, but Valdez is just like master, And the arrangements were just so next level, and I just remember just like kind of just being like, dude, what's the deal? Like, how do you do that shit? He just said, man, we take the song and we just make it sound better, how it's supposed to sound. What? So, just like bring the life out of the song. There's only like a few bass players on earth that I would ever even like call for like a gig to like fill in for me. I've never had to have that happen before, but like,
Who would you call? Who's subbing for you?
I got a friend named Neon Phoenix who's brilliant. Aaron the bassist. He's incredible.
He's bad to the bone. Yes.
My friend Eugene Owens, maybe.
but somebody that's going to like treat the music with respect, somebody that's going to play like a drummer, maybe, or with the drums in mind.
Or just like, just call whoever and just see what happens, because who knows?
Man, you are a braver musical director than I am. I got to tell you that.
I'm really like particular on like the musicians I work with though. Like if I had to call cats, like with the Free Nats, like we don't have like a set drummer. We played with Thomas Pridgeon for years. He's like kind of usually like the guy that we go to, but when he couldn't do him, we got Chris Dave.
Oh yeah.
It was like, oh my God. The UK, we had the homie McNasty. It's like, you just call cats that you know can do it. But I'm never telling them what to do or what to play. Every drummer sounds so unique. So let them just do their thing. Like, why would you tell Chris Dave what to do? Just let him play, man. Why would you tell Thomas Bridgen, just let him play?
The approach of like that you have is my favorite kind of leadership to be under, I guess I'll say, because it's, you hire these people for a reason. So why not let them do their thing? Right?
Why would I ever tell Chris Dave what to play?
Or you might as well just run tracks if you're looking for something.
Exactly.
If you're looking for someone that specific and you just didn't get that someone for this gig, just run the track. Like
exactly.
You're gonna be unhappy with everything else.
Yeah. Oh, it's so true. Kelsey, what's advice that you would tell a young Kelsey Gonzalez?
I'm pretty happy with. I don't know about advice because.
So you don't need to give your younger self.
You don't.
Advice.
Yeah, your younger self doesn't need
nailed it. So I love it.
Appreciate that. I kind of think that like with bass playing, it's like I love the bass so much, and sometimes I like doing the bass line after the singer sings. And a lot of the songs now I do just key bass because like I feel like I know too much. I have too much facility, and I'll just go to my old tricks or whatever when I play.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, like licks and stuff.
And it doesn't impress me. But if I play the key bass, it just comes out better.
Yeah, like you're reacting to the music instead of like, let's build this on some fancy bass line.
Yeah,
maybe.
like I'm all good at bass. Like the older I get and the more I've been doing this, the more I think like I don't want to be all good at bass like that. I just want to be good like here, I guess.
Well, I think that's awesome advice
I'm all,
for everybody, not necessarily for your younger self. I like the surfing advice the best. Kelsey, where can we go to support you? If people want to know more about you, do you have a place, a website or something where people can go, your socials, to check you out and support you?
Lord, like Lord, because I'm a Lord. And then Kelstro, which is like Kelsey, but like Maestro, Kelstro. I didn't, my friend Miguel, he named me that back in the days.
Well, we will all go follow you. Man, this has been so fun. Thanks for your perspective. And just like, you are a steward of the groove, good sir.
Like,
and I appreciate it so much.
Takes one to know one,
man.
my friend.
Thanks so much for being with us today, man.
Thank you guys. Happy to be here. Anytime.